Hey guys, welcome back. A box from Fanhome showed up this morning, which means it's part work time, and this one is Millennium Falcon, and it's parts 52 to 56. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're cracking on here, and as I mentioned, 52 to 56. So we've got these, which we'll look at in detail. And in the box here, which kind of fit on camera, we actually have a t-shirt. So I wasn't expecting a t-shirt. I thought we had all our free gifts already, but Lyson sent me a t-shirt. Now, I'm not going to open it. I'll probably just a giveaway on my channel, and this is a size XL. So as is tradition with Fanhome, they don't have all different sizes. They just send everybody an XL. So if you're super big or super little, yeah, just a heads up. But this will be a giveaway sometime on my channel, so watch my monthly bench updates, and I'll go through the instructions at some point in time. But yeah, and I'm also giving away the diecast Millennium Falcon. That's on my Facebook page right now. You can enter, I think, and October the 3rd, I think the draw closes. So free gift again, a t-shirt, which is always nice. And this is a pretty big, heavy box, to be honest with you. Going for the big packs again. As I sift through the box, excuse the rustling and noise to find 52. So we got 52. Again, look at these in more detail. 53. 54, 55, and 56. And again, they keep sending these plastic kind of supports. I don't use them. I think it's kind of a waste of plastic, to be honest with you. But anyway, so that's what we got going on here. Let me kind of move these all to the edge, and we'll focus on 52. And here is the magazine. And we're talking about Carrack class light cruisers. Okay. I'm going to flick through this. Again, I'm not reading all these. I need some point in time and have some few minutes. I need to sit down and read through all these. Some good information in here. Next parts. We're going to assemble the top frames. So obviously we've been working that one already from previous weeks. We're going to have the passenger tube cover. And here it talks about weathering, battle damage, airbrush streaks, that kind of jazz. Again, we're going to get this thing assembled in one piece, and at the very end we'll go back and paint and weather this thing, which will be a challenge because it's pretty big. I'm thinking maybe use rattle cans to start with, and then from there airbrush in the detail, because it's going to be a big service try to airbrush with a 0.3 needle. Yeah, so there we go. So that's pretty straightforward with that one. And as we look at pack 52, get this bag open. Now we have solid metal. Ooh, this probably weighs a good, I don't know, 400 grams. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but it's pretty heavy piece of metal there. It's the sensor ring. We've got built frameage. We've got some screws of various types. This is the shooting that screws together. That's the passage sealing I think we just talked about. And some detailed parts on the sprue here. So yeah, there we go. So let me get to work. I'll put these together and come back and we'll work on 53. All right, so basically adding this piece right here, screwing in and adding the sensor ring here as well, and the 10 screws going all the way around and making quite a sturdy construction here. So this is obviously from previous weeks, just adding this part right here in a circle. This bit looks like we're left over, and a bunch of screws, all left over for another day. And oh, we've got also the magnets going on for this. So touch of super glue on each one to glue these down. These pins go through, which is a little tricky, and the magnet's just super glued in there and just sits like so. And that is it for part number 52. Alrighty, 53. We're a droid tri-fighter. Moving through here, escape pods, and next parts. We're going to work more frameage going on. We're adding a couple of parts to the end here. Using the assembly jig, which I'm not using. I don't think I necessarily need to use it. we'll see later on if I do need to do it. If so, I obviously have them all stored, and they're all numbered as well, so it's easy to find. This, I think it's printed on. And we're going to assembling the recess. So all this detail here. So basically going to take all these little parts, which ironically we're not using from the previous part, so that's saved ahead. So we're using new parts here, just cutting off the sprues, gluing them all in the plastic, per the instructions, and you'll be left with this detailed part right here. So bringing in a bag of parts. Yeah, make sure you check these bags are empty before you throw them in the trash can, because you know a lot of screws and stuff can be loose in there. Looks like we got some joining connectors there, a couple of pieces of frame which we just talked about. One of these plastic jig things. Again, I'm storing all these up. I'm not really using them. Now I see it. Maybe I don't have the number on. But anyway, now one of these plastic jig pieces pretty much go in the recycling bin. This is that part we're going to recess, and I don't think we're using the pipes in this one. I might be wrong. Looks like pretty much using this fret right here. So as always, cut them off with sprue cutters and glue them in place per the instructions, and that should be pretty much it. So I'll get to work on that and come right back. Okay, so I attached the couple pieces to the end here using the brackets. So 2 on the top, the 1 there and 2 there, just to kind of attach these 2 on the end, and created this little beauty of detail. Now it was pretty straightforward, because actually the instructions were actually on this one were actually really good, easy to follow. Lots of good pictures, and just one piece at a time, follow it in order and glue it together. Now I've given up, as I've gone through this build, I've given up the plastic glues and just use super glue now. Simple Loctite. This is a gel. I don't use the runny clear, like the liquid one. Use the gel. It's way easier. It doesn't go everywhere. You know, $4 from Home Depot or Walmart, wherever, and just glue each piece in. Super glue it all in, and it won't fall out. In the past, I've used some plastic glues on this build, and then pieces fall out to glue them back in again. The other thing I would note is this guy right here. You put it like the 3rd or 4th piece. I'd put it in the very beginning. Put it in first before you put this in, because you've got loads of room to work with. Otherwise, with tweezers, you're trying to get this thing lined up. So glue that first, and then this one after is what I recommend. So anyway, that's my top tip for number 53. Moving swiftly on to 54. We have some more Star Warsy stuff going on here. Oh, logistics droid there. Very nice. And sensor arrays. Again, all kinds of Star Warsy stuff. And now we're going back more frameage. We're doing the assembling of top frames. And we're going to assemble a battery holder too. Okay, interesting. So something a little bit different. So let me dig out 53. Wait, sorry, 54. Confused me for a little bit. But again, just a reminder, there's 5 parts every month for this, which is nice. Back in the day, I think it was 4. And just gets you to build done a bit quicker. So you got all that stuff. Again, check the bag. All this stuff is loose. Double check my bag. Put it away in the trash. So we've got this guy, which is part of the battery holder, I'm guessing. Big screws. Hold the 2 sides together. Not sure what that is. Some kind of foam pad. More of these. Oh, we've got some bolts there too, which is pretty cool. Another bit of plastic, which is going to end up in the recycling bin. Some frames. More plastic sprues for later. And a couple of panels here. And there we go. That is it. So looks like we've got quite a few bits here. It's a good build, this one. This month, there's quite a lot going on here. So yeah, and get going on this one. I'll be right back. All right, so this one's a little confusing. Firstly, just add these 2 parts at the end, which wasn't so bad, and you got one of those like kind of, I don't know what you call them, like the joining plates, I guess, beams going down on the outside. Now this caused me some problems in instructions where it went. So it has the on-off switch bottom left, as we're looking at it on the frame. and I was trying to mount it on the other side, but you mount it from the outside, push it through, make sure you don't clip these wires, make sure that they come through, they're not clipped, and just screw forward from the outside. So that threw me off a little bit with the instructions to figure it out, but got there in the end. So yeah, look at that's how I'm looking, with the screws facing down, but those 4 screws come up from the other side. Again, which kind of threw me off a little bit there. So on to 55. A very thin book for some reason. This feels a few pages lighter than the other one. And just going to spring through here. And next parts. We're going to assemble more frameage. So frames, and we're going to fit the actuator braces. Okay, these are well needed because this thing's very fragile, this, from the where the ramp opens and closes right now. There's no support on there, so definitely nice to get some braces on there. And we're going to fitting the recesses. Okay, so these parts, we have left over from previous editions. I've just loosely kind of painted these. Again, we're going to paint all this stuff afterwards, so I don't have to care too much about it right now. Pack 55. And time-wise so far, I'd say probably, if I wasn't filming this and doing it at home, looking at all that left, it's probably a couple of hours worth of work here, which again isn't bad. Unlike Batmobile last time, which was like 30 seconds, and it was done. But grab all these parts. And again, the bag is empty. Very cool. Plastic panel, frames. Here's the braces, bunch of screws. This all bent up again. I kind of harpy on here, but I just don't get the point of this stuff. It's just a waste of plastic. Anyway, and that is it. Oh, I should have mentioned before, have these big bolts left over in the pack plate. That's left over from the last pack, and I think also another one of these sprues. That might be the last pack too, if not the pack before. So I'm gonna put these in a box before I forget. Don't want to lose anything, and I'll start putting this stuff together, and then we'll move on to pack or part number 56. All right, so this piece left over, and this is where it gets kind of hard for the camera, but this piece and a couple pieces on the end here, this piece and this piece kind of goes down. Sometimes instructions are not always easy to see which angle they go, but I believe that is correct. And I'm going to zoom out. Oop, wrong way. So there you go. I'm going to leave zoomed out my messy desk because we're bringing the big guns here, and I'm not even sure I can fit this on my desk. This thing is so heavy. So this is a weird one. I'm going to move my tripod out. I'm going to move this in. These actuators, these things weren't staying on, so I just put a touch of super glue in each one just to hold it in place, because I think they go up and down with the side part anyway, so I think we're good with that. I think they're in place. Anyway, so I super glued those, because otherwise they just fall right off. These 2 pieces, which you can't see, so I'm going to zoom way out here, and just my camera. These 2, I put them in black screws and realized one wasn't going in. Well, firstly, this one here had a screw on the other side holding the plate on. So I removed that screw, and then actually it says use the 4 of the small brass screws. In fact, when I looked at it, they're actually longer, the brass screws. It's these guys here. I'm not sure if you can really see them dropping them now. I'm not sure if you can really see it, but I'd say they're probably about 4 or 5 mil long. So they're not the shortest of them. They're like the slightly longer ones, I'd say. But that was tricky. So the brass screws, 4 on each side, no problem at all. Again, I couldn't screw one in, and I found out, hey, it was just one of these screws behind holding the plate on. But there we go. So you see how big this guy is. It's getting pretty massive now. So let me kind of zoom back towards the bench here. Position my camera back. I'm going to put this guy down before I damage anything. God, this thing is so heavy. I mean, this 1/2 has got to be 10 kilos. All right, so now on to the final part for today, which is number 56. Now my battery's getting low, so I'm going to flick through this pretty quickly here, and we're working on some more detail parts. So detailing the thrust vector plates. So there we go. Adding details. Putting some of these sprues out. For this stage, you'll need the plant-on details that came with sprues of issues 44, 45, and 47. So again, we're adding more details here. So we're basically going back through the archives and getting old parts as I knock my oil over, and basically adding some more details, which makes me nervous because these kind of break off pretty easily for this early in the build. But anyway, again, knocked it over. I'm going to add these detail parts. Looks like the frames we get, we're just going to hold over to another day. Yeah, no frames. So, last one of the night. Alright, so that guy, a couple of frame pieces, some detailed plastic parts, and a couple of plates. So yeah, these pretty much all for the spares. And we're going to pull out the detail. And is this the bottom assembly? I'm not quite so sure. I think it goes along the bottom assembly we've done already. But anyway, let me figure it out. I'll read off camera and get this thing built up. All right, we're done. So probably a good 2 to 3 hours work in this one. And I've got to switch so I can get some of this in the camera because it's getting massive. I mean, look at this thing. So firstly, instructions call for adding all this stuff on the back. Now I've done that already, and I'm pretty sure that was detailed earlier in the structure, early in the build. So I wouldn't think I would have added them without the instructions. So I'm wondering maybe if there's a issue there with the instructions, just telling you to do something you've already done. But anyway, all this stuff in the back is done already. Some detail going on here, some detail going on there. Flip it around. A couple of bits of detail going on here too. Pretty much following the instructions, nothing too crazy there. Just makes me nervous because it's very fragile, all this like stuff going on the back here. I've super glued it all on, so it should stay in place. But just storage-wise, I mean, yeah, while this thing's being built for the next, another 8 months or so. And yeah, all this back here is getting bent with the ramp that goes up and down. Again, there's nothing to protect it. So I've got I can store it on the side here, down the side of my bookshelf, out of the way. And then the other side, which we're working on, is this guy. So it's going to have to marry up with the other side and create your falcon shape somehow. So we're 56 parts in, out of 100, I think this one is. And so we're on our way, and yeah, almost 2/3 of the way there. So it's a little sporadic, these parts, but this one got held up in Kansas for like 2 weeks. They used like a third-party distributor. They used to use FedEx, used to come like 2 or 3 days. Now it's get stuck with this third party for like 2 or 3 weeks in Kansas, or Louisville, wherever it is, until they get going. Actually, I think it's Kansas. So yeah, so we'll see, but there's no big rush, right? We're just in it for the long haul. And again, thank you, Fanhome, to send it to me free of charge. I might have forgot to mention at the very beginning. To send it to me, they have no creative influence. They just send me the parts. I just get them every month, and I just build it. In return, I said I'd throw a video up. That's basically it, really. Now, these are back in stock at the time of filming this, so you can order it. Just disappear for about 6 months, but now back. And description link is in the show notes below if you want to go and subscribe to this. It's going to be awesome when it's built. It's massive, as you can see, the parts. It's going to take some real work to paint and weather this thing. As it is, it's not probably up to standard, but we can do some really cool effects at the very end once the thing's put together. Just rattle can it and then detail paint it with the airbrush. I think is probably the best way to do this. But yeah, massive. It's really heavy too. I mean, just holding this up, it's a few pounds, but this base here has got to be a good, I don't know, got to be a good 10-15 pounds, this bottom section. But there we go. So wrap it up. Thank you for watching, as always. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please hit it because it really helps me out, helps the channel grow. And I think the next one will be the Batmobile, which I get maybe in like a week or two, whenever it shows up. And we'll get the Batmobile moving. And yeah, between these two, we've got quite a lot of part work stuff going on. So yeah, there we go. Have a good one.